What's up, Niner fans? Welcome to a special edition mailbag here with Rob Shue. We had a submission from an international Niner fan, so this one's going out to Gavin in Wales, man. I love your energy. I love the way that you come across the screen, and it got me fired up, and I wanted to do an entire mailbag just based on your one submission because I thought it was a great question, and your energy just got me lit. I watched you this morning, and it fired me up, man. It got me pumped. I had to put on some drip, had to come out here and answer your mailbag question and throw it up on the channel, special edition style. So Gavin's question was about our owner at the San Francisco 49ers. He asked specifically, will the 49ers win the Super Bowl while Jed York owns us? I love the way that you phrase that question because I do at times feel owned by Jed York, especially when he is trolling the entire 49ers fan base on Twitter. It's unreal. I mean, I yell at my phone when that happens. But let me preface all of this by saying I do have a warm spot in my heart for Jed York, and I know that you're probably laughing at me right now at the moment, but it's real, and I think once you hear the story, you'll at least understand it, if not respect it. So back in 2010, it was through a random set of circumstances. Jed actually threw a couple of field passes and 50-yard line seats to my father and I to go to a game, the Atlanta Falcons. It was my birthday. I got a generic form letter from Jed that wished me a happy birthday, but it was signed by him. And it endeared me to him. I'm not going to lie. That experience was one of my favorites. That game, we got blown out. The product on the field was awful. And I blame Jed for that. I certainly blame Jed for that. That was in the last year of the Singletary era, short-lived as it was, and the beginning of the Tom Sula era. Yet another interesting choice from our man, Jed. But the field experience at Candlestick Park, my very first time touching the grass at Candlestick Park, I will never forget that. That was a moment that I shared with my father. One of many moments I've shared with my father, but a special one when it comes to the 49ers. He and I have been blessed to go to a lot of games, and that was special. I had been going to games at Candlestick Park since maybe 87, 88. We moved out to the Bay Area from the East Coast in 86, started going to games right after that, and I have so many positive memories attached to Candlestick Park. And getting down there onto the field, touching that grass, being there with my dad, that was special, man. I mean, as a diehard 49er fan, it gives me chills just thinking about that moment. It was cool. We got to meet this camera guy that had on a Joe Nedney jersey that turned out to be a kicker enthusiast who follows kickers around the league. I mean, you just don't get that unless you're on the field. And then we watched Roddy White blow us out. I mean, he had a 90-yard TD reception in that game. I think he put up more than 200 yards. It was brutal to watch the game on the field. And again, I do blame Jed for that. There is absolutely one thing I will not forgive Jed York for, probably as long as I live. And that has everything to do with why I chose this spot to do this shoot and answer Gavin's question. Sitting in these seats. And that is the fact that he was unable to get anything done with Candlestick Park, and we moved on to create Levi's in Santa Clara. I can't tell you how many positive memories I have attached to Candlestick Park and how disappointed I was when we couldn't get a deal done, at least with the city of San Francisco, to redo a stadium on Candlestick Point or somewhere else within the Bay. When that thing went down, man, a part of my heart went down with it. And Levi's just does not have the same vibe that Candlestick did. I had so many positive memories attached to Section 30, Row 31, Seats 8 and 9, and I can't go back there anymore. And I do blame Jed for that. I certainly do. And I will hold on to that one, and I won't let it go. But what I do want to say to 49ers fans is I think we also have to be grateful for the fact that Jed was so bad when he came in. And I know that that's counterintuitive, but just hear me out on this one. I know this from experience both in life and as a 49ers fan. Your greatest moment in life and as a football fan is greater when you have experienced a lower low. The the difference between those 2 points is what gives you that sensation of how inspirational that high point can be. If you've never felt pain as a football fan, if you've never felt loss as a football fan, then you don't really know what that pain, what that agony feels like. Therefore, you have nothing to contrast the winning against. If you were a Patriots fan growing up over the last 2 decades, then you would be a spoiled individual. You wouldn't have that low point to really understand what it means to suffer. As 49er fans, thanks to Jed York, we had some years where we learned how to suffer, what suffering is. And therefore, after having been to 2 losing Super Bowls, I know that when I attend a winning Super Bowl, it's going to be that much sweeter. And I have Jed to thank for that, right? I have Jed to thank for the fact that I had some painful years to go through. The York family certainly had some growing pains when taking over for Eddie D. There is no question about that. When I look back at the first few hires, the constant leaks to the media that were coming out, man, that was painful stuff. That was tough to go through. As a 49er fan, it was embarrassing. The beef between Harbaugh and Balky, after making a stud hire and bringing Harbaugh in, to then take Balky's side and all those continual leaks again and again and choosing Balky over Harbaugh. Are you serious? You chose Balky over Harbaugh. Even Siri's upset about that. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, it's tough, but it does seem that he has started to turn the corner. It does feel like he's headed in the right direction. It feels like he made the right hire in Kyle and John and now is getting out of the way. Sure, he pops up every now and then to troll us on Twitter. Yes, he came in after the NFC Championship game and celebrated it as if it was a Super Bowl and probably didn't help the mindset of the organization going into the Super Bowl, but I think he'll learn his lesson from that. I think that he has stayed out of the way. I think he has put people in charge that can get the job done. And yes, Gavin, my answer to you is yes. I believe that we can and will win a Super Bowl with Jed as the owner. I'll go even further. I'm going to predict that we do it within the next 3 years. And I'm going to tell you for a fact, when it happens, I will be there. And I hope you're there too, man, because I'm going to need that energy in the stadium. I'm going to need you to keep it live like you did in your video, man. It's just amazing. Amazing. I love it. Special shout out to you, Gavin. You made my day, man. You fired me up. You got me to put on the drip, come out here, do this video. I'm going to edit it, throw it up, man. I was inspired. And special shout out. Appreciate you, Gavin. Appreciate Gavin from Wales. That's it. We'll wrap up this mailbag. See you all next time.